last week, my first week of railroad training. So I thought I'd kind of give you guys an update, let you guys know how it went, and just kind of give you guys an update, on the schedule of how my next 14 weeks is going to be looking, and just, kind of blow your guys' mind like my mind was blown, to be honest with you. So I could say the first week was definitely overwhelming. First day, it's not really there's an introduction, of course, but you hit the ground running. First week, you definitely hit the ground running. You're already learning railroad terminology. You're already learning, signals. You're learning about switches. You're learning how to put a knuckle on. I'm sure every class is different, but that's as far as how my class was going. We were definitely hands-on and we hit the ground running. I would say some guys were definitely overwhelmed. I wouldn't say I was necessarily overwhelmed. I mean, of course, it definitely, kind of made me a little nervous. But I know at the end of the day, there's other guys that I know that are already in the field, and if I feel like if they could pass it, I could pass it too. So I'm not gonna say I was fully overwhelmed, but it definitely can overwhelm you. And I would just say when you do get in, don't let it overwhelm you. Just take it slow, just take it piece by piece. Don't let everything they're telling you get to you right away. Like, don't let it feel like, oh man, this might not be for me, or this information might just be too much. Just kind of soak it in and be a sponge. Take it slowly and just slowly grasp everything they're telling you, as opposed to just trying to slam everything into. That's what I see some guys in the classroom are doing. They're more so trying to slam everything in. They're trying to right away just think they have to take the most notes, or be on top of the class and beating everybody. No, I'm not. I'm more so just taking it slow and letting it come to me. And I so far, I don't feel like I'm doing bad. I don't feel stressed out. But yeah, I kind of thought I'd give you guys an update how my next 14 weeks is going to look, and anybody else who's, joining soon, how your 14 weeks is going to look. So I just kind of thought I'd give you guys an update. I have a schedule here. So my first 2 weeks is going to be classroom training. That's what I just finished my first week. Next week, I'll have another week of classroom training. After that, okay, so I was hired out of St. Louis, Missouri. So I was hired out of St. Louis, but my classroom training is taking place in Little Rock, Arkansas. So I'm not even in my home terminal yet. I moved all the way from California. So I literally, if you can see my room right now, is literally packed up. I'm in the hotel that they put me in. So I'm literally out of, like I said, my terminal is out of St. Louis, but I'm out of the hotel right now in Little Rock, Arkansas. So my classroom training has been in Little Rock so far. The first week, like I said, was, it was a little overwhelming, but the next week, I feel like I'll be a little bit more confident. So the next week is still going to be in Little Rock. The 2 weeks after that, I have to drive to St. Louis, Missouri. That's going to be about a 4-hour drive to get to St. Louis. And then I will do 2 weeks of on-the-job training. So I'll do 2 weeks of on-the-job training in St. Louis. And then after those 2 weeks, I have to drive all the way 4 hours back to do another 2 weeks conductor classroom training. So this week is regular classroom training, just learning stuff, terminology, things like that. And then you go to 2 weeks, basically service on the job training out in your home terminal or wherever you might be. See, some people, like the guys out of Little Rock, Arkansas, the guys that are already here, this is their home terminal. So they're doing their classroom training here, and they're doing their on the job training here. So they don't even have to worry about leaving. So, if you're hired out of your home terminal, then that you might be lucky not to have to drive back and forth. But even my guy out of Arizona, I have a friend out of Arizona who was hired on, and he was hired out of Phoenix, but he had to go do his classroom training in El Paso. So every 2 weeks, he was driving back and forth from Arizona to El Paso. So, everybody's kind of different. But, yeah, so basically I would have to, so after this 2 weeks, I have to drive to St. Louis for service on the job training. After that 2 weeks, I have to drive back for a conductor classroom. So this, like I said, this week is regular classroom training. The next 2 weeks after I go to St. Louis for on the job training, I'll come back and do conductor classroom training. So that'll be another 2 weeks. After that 2 weeks, I go back to St. Louis and do another 2 weeks of on the job training. Okay, so that's right there is 8 weeks. That's 8 weeks so far. Then I come back for my last 2 weeks out of my classroom here, and I do what's called remote control classroom training. So that would be my 10th week. So I'll do 2 more weeks out of here, remote control classroom training. And then after I do my final 2 weeks here for remote control classroom training, I'll go back and do 4 weeks on the job remote control classroom training. On the job training, sorry about that. So 4 weeks, my final 4 weeks is gonna be on the job remote control training. So basically what I learned the last 2 weeks before I leave, I'll go back and do the final 4 weeks of on-the-job training for the remote control. Basically learning, you know, how to, I mean, I don't necessarily know exactly what to do, but learning the controls and everything like that on the job. So that right there consists of the 14 weeks. So let me just kind of give you guys a summary. We got 2 weeks classroom training in Little Rock, 2 weeks in St. Louis, 2 weeks back in Little Rock, 2 weeks back in St. Louis, 2 weeks back in Little Rock, and then the final 4 in St. Louis. So it's a 14-week training. So yeah, it's definitely, I'm gonna be back and forth. But at least the good thing about it is, for the fact that my home terminal is out of St. Louis, and I'm gonna be out in Little Rock, so they pay for gas, they pay for your gas, and they also pay for your food. So just my first week, for the first 2 weeks, I received about $350 check for food for the 2 weeks I was out here, and then I'll get another $350 every time I come back. So that's what, $350, $700, $1,000. So about $1,050 for the 6 weeks I'll be out here for food, and then I'll also be receiving another $500 for gas every time I come back out here. So that's $1,500. So we got basically $2,500 all around for food and gas for being out here. And then every time that I come to Little Rock, they also put me in a hotel. So that's a good thing about it. But when I get to St. Louis, for the fact that's my home terminal, I'm responsible for housing. Like they don't take care of no hotel. They don't take care of nothing like that. I'm basically responsible for my own housing because, of course, I'm going to be living there. So when I leave the hotel right now, when I'm done for this 2 weeks, I literally have to go straight there and pack. I mean, you know, my bags are packed, but pack up everything and start trying to find a hotel to live in, because I don't want to keep living out of a hotel with all this stuff, you know. Just even me carrying all this stuff up, man, it almost wore me down. I'll be honest with you. Everything was falling off the cart. It took me about 6 trips. So yeah, I definitely don't want to keep doing this. I told my family back home, when I leave from Little Rock this time, I don't even want to worry about having to bring all this stuff back to the hotel next time or anything like that. So yeah, that's definitely, you know, my plan when I get out to Little Rock. I mean, St. Louis. I keep getting them mixed up. You know, I'm not too familiar with either one, so it's easy to get mixed up. But yeah, my plan is when I get out there, I have to start looking for an apartment immediately. I already kind of been having a couple virtual tours and stuff like that, so I kind of got a couple ideas of what I like, but I just really have to lock in as far as, like, you know, looking at areas. And, you know, it's easy to look on the inside of an apartment, but when you go outside, there might be a bunch of homeless people walking around, or, you know, I don't want to, or, you know, a bunch of, y'all know how, I know you guys heard the rumors of St. Louis, so, I mean, I'm from LA, so I'm not really too much worried about it, but as far as, like, you know, I just want to be out the way. I don't really want to be too much worried about anything. So, yeah, that's my plan. When I get out there, I'm going to be looking for a spot. So I just kind of thought I'd give you guys a little breakdown of my 14 weeks. And then, yeah, these are some of the books. These are some of the books I've got. This is the new hire train. This is actually where you're pretty much be doing a lot of work out of here, your homework, everything like that. It's a big old book. You guys can see the size of that. I'll give you guys more of a breakdown on some of these books later on, but I'll show you a couple of them. This is what's called this SSI, your SSI book. Yeah, you got, this is what's called your timetable, your job briefing. Then this one folded up a little bit. Your job briefing guidelines, track authority forms, and then this is what's called your SGOs. So yeah, like I said, I'll kind of give you guys an update a little bit more on the books, but I just more so want to let you guys know about how mind-boggling my next 14 weeks is going to be, and yeah, just what I'm going to be going through. And yeah, man, I just hope you guys stay updated, and I hope anybody, you know, that is going through this or is interested in this, you know, you guys could kind of get some knowledge from this and, you know, get some value out of it. So I appreciate you guys. If you guys haven't, man, like, subscribe, you know, follow me on the journey. And yeah, when I get to St. Louis, it's not going to be more so just railroad content. I'm going to, you know, be showing you guys moving into my new spot, you know, just me hitting the gym more. You know, I've been getting back in the gym. So yeah, it's not necessarily just going to be railroad content. It's going to be more, you know, everything from self-help to, you know, like I said, me moving in to everything. Just what I'm, you know, I'm even going to be breaking down my checks with you guys, showing you guys when I'm getting paid. I'm actually going to have another video later on about, you know, the pay breakdown and what I'll be getting paid and everything like that, as far as even going through training. to give you guys a little bit more information. But yeah, for now, I just want to give you guys an update on my schedule and what I'll be looking like, man. I appreciate all you guys, man. Like I said, like, subscribe, follow me up, man. Yeah, man. Hope y'all have a good one. I got to hit the bed right now. It's about 11 o'clock right now, so I got to go to sleep, man. I got to get up at 7 o'clock. Probably get up at 6:45, to be honest. We got to be, every day, classes from 8 to 5. So, and they're not playing that late stuff. So if you're about to start your class, don't be late. Do not be late. Don't even think about being late. And I'm sure they'll tell you when you get there. But if it's even on your first day, man, don't think about being late. But yeah, I appreciate everybody.